What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out a title called Landnama. This one has a lot in common with almost like a board game, is what it reminded me of. It's a very difficult game to describe to people, but it's a game that's instantaneously recognizable if you watch me play it. So I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time talking about what it is or what it isn't, but if we had to slap a label on it, I would call it a strategy roguelite. A strategy survival roguelite, more specifically. This is a game about a Viking clan that has ended a period of war, and now they have moved on out to hinterland territories, far off on the fringes of their previous territory to start over and explore and find glory, and basically create a new home for their people. There are no threats in this game. Nothing is attacking you. The only thing that is a problem is the fact that winter is coming, and you need to stockpile enough to survive the winter over and over and over again in between the various activities like building your city and chopping down trees and all that kind of stuff. As that all takes place, you need to make sure that you're squirreling away enough things to survive over the winter. And so we're going to dive on into Landnama. I played it for about an hour, and I thought it was pretty interesting for an alpha. It actually, I think it kind of got its hooks in me a little bit just because it's got a little bit of a board game feeling to it in a lot of ways. And we're going to spend 30 minutes with the game and see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or not. If after watching this, you wanted to get the game for yourself, I got a link for you down below in the description. Then on top of that, you can swing through my Discord and my Twitch stream, both of which are listed down below, and they've been kind of quiet lately, so you're more than welcome to pop on through. But let's start a new saga. Now, we've got to pick a clan. So you get 3 lives in this game. I don't know if you ever played a game called Urban Strike, like way back in the Sega Genesis days, but it was like an assault helicopter game, but you had to pick your pilots. And if your pilots died, they were like your extra lives, but all the pilots had different stats and different skills and different things they were good at. But when they died, you couldn't use them ever again. They were dead for the rest of your run. This game is very similar. So you pick a clan and you have 3 tries to like settle this island. And if a clan dies, they're gone. You have to pick a new clan and you have to send them on out there, and you don't get them back until your saga resets. And so we've got a number of clans here, all rendered in really, really good form, actually. I think this artwork over here is quite good. Really, really good looking stuff. It's also randomized which clans you're actually going to be able to play. So you get a selection of 3 clans out of, I think, 8 clans, and then 6 of them are grayed out. I don't know if that's going to be a finalized mechanic that goes into the 1.0 game, or if that's just like an alpha thing. Kind of hard to tell right now, but I have restarted a couple times, and each time I get a different set of 3 clans. Like last time I was playing, I think I had Sigbjorn, I think I had Helga, and I think I had Orliger. Sorry if I like to call them Oh Really. That's what I've been calling them so far, like that old owl meme. But anyways, you get a different clan set every single time you play on through, and they've got different stats, and they do different things. So, like over here, Sigridur, they start out with a higher harvest, which means that their monthly income is way higher than everybody else's. However, they start out with very little money. So that's kind of the balance. If you go with Sigbjorn, they have a lot more capacity for hearts. You could think of hearts as like a conceptualized currency of like food, medicine, money, shelter. Everything is combined into hearts in this game. There are no other stats. There are no other things that you're collecting. You're just collecting hearts. And every building produces hearts. And so anyways, they have much more capacity to stockpile hearts, but they don't have very many explorers, which means they have trouble expanding out into the map. We have Poor over here. They are the Mountaineers. They apparently can explore difficult tiles for the same cost as a normal tile, which is pretty huge, but their fishermen suck. So we'll go with the Poor for right now. And then we've got to pick a spot that we want to deploy on the island. Different places on the island will have different descriptions. It matters. Different clans are going to be good at playing different tiles. So some clans thrive on highlands. Some clans do really well on mountains. Things like that. Just because the buildings that they get bonuses to may or may not be able to actualize that bonus based on the tile that you place it on. We'll just pick one right here. My favorite one over here is it says that there's a dramatic... Oh, is it not here? Let's see here. Yeah, my favorite one is this one right here, the dramatic peninsula. That just makes me think like peninsula, can I settle on you? And the peninsula's like, I guess if you have to. Like, just being overly dramatic about it. Foxafloy. Exploration time decreased by 25%. So there's woodlands and wetlands. Let's do that one. After a long journey across the sea, the clan reached the shores of their new home. Following the coast, they found a strategic location to establish a homestead and prepare for the coming winter. The path to survival is clear. Explore the land and expand your settlement with buildings to increase your hearts, then upgrade the homestead as much as possible to stand the test of time. So welcome. This right here is Landnama. This is a very pretty game. Oh, it tried to run off on me. It started off unpaused, but I caught it. The central fixture of the entire UI that you're going to want to pay attention to is this bar up here. This tells you how much resources you have in order to survive. This will tell you all of the roguelite bonuses that you've picked up. They put little flags down here for every positive and every negative blessing you get. Then, time is going to pass. You can consider each one of these cells to be like, I don't know, like a month or like a half month or something. Like a fortnight. Pick whatever makes you happy. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is every single time this timeline hits a heart, it will add the heart plus whatever amount to your total stockpile. That represents the fact that you're collecting taxes, your harvest came in, you built a new house, whatever. And then when it gets to the end of the track, you will have to have between 1 and 2 hearts left to survive through the winter, and a dice is rolled to determine that number. Every single time you survive, the winter is going to get more harsh, and the goal is to get as far into the game as humanly possible, find like a legendary location, colonize it, and then once you've done that, the winter will relent because you've proved to the gods that you are glorious and you drink from an ale horn and, you stand on the front of the ship in the middle of a storm being like, Thor, strike your anvil, all that kind of stuff. So for now, how do we play the game? Well, it's really, really simple. Everything costs you hearts, and everything gains you hearts. Every single decision you make in this game is going to be a balance for, like, what is going out and what is coming in versus the amount of time you have left to resolve things. But we're surrounded by a bunch of tiles here. We need to scout and explore. And so if you look at the bottom right, we've got 2 little boots down here. That means we have 2 explorers. And as you can see, they will begin to explore. We also have 2 builders, so we can build 2 buildings at a time. Different clans will have different, like some clans have like 4 scouts, but they only have 1 builder. Some clans have 1 scout, but they have like a whole bunch of builders. It kind of depends. Everybody's got like a different shtick in this game. There's a sea tile over here. We could put a fisherman over there. So the humble fisherman's shack provides a place to collect and clean the day's catch, but it's buildable only on the sea. The downside is it won't harvest anything because we have fisherman's harvest reduced by 1. And I don't know if that's like a permanent debuff, so we're not really going to get any benefit out of fishermen, but we do have a peat farm down here that we can build. But we need to know if there's more. So if we build that peat farm, we'll get +1 every time we collect hearts. However, it would behoove us to scout around a little bit and figure out if there's more wetlands around here because it gets a bonus harvest for every single other wetland that it shares an adjacency with. And so that's where the thoughtfulness, to me, of the game starts to come in, is that you start to get nervous about placing down buildings because you're like, well, what if I clear out the fog of war and it turns out what I think is adjacent over there is not actually adjacent over there and this building is just ruined. Then I got to spend a bunch of time tearing it down. That costs me. Then I got to move it over to here, and that entire time we're still ticking towards winter. And I found this to be a very compelling core gameplay loop that's very easy to learn, but also takes a little bit of nuance. Like, it's a game that you play with your chin rested on your hand, thinking and pondering like a king with your arm rested lazily on your armrest. It's a game that you kind of squint at while you sit lazily and you think about how you want to resolve this problem. So realistically, we have 5 hearts by the end of this season. So we can scout like 2 more tiles. I'm going to go with that one, and I'm going to go with that one because we have the most to gain from those 2 if they end up being double marshlands, because then we can put a peat bog right here, and the peat bog will generate 3 or 4 or 2. That's exact. See what I mean? There it is. So now we just need to save up 4 hearts. Once we have 4 hearts, we'll put a peat bog down right here, and that should give us +3. And that should be the best. We have enough food stockpiled in order to make it through winter, so there's no big deal there. But we are getting close to winter. I would recommend they kind of amp up these environmental effects. I like these effects, like when it gets close to winter, it starts snowing, things of that nature. It'd be cool if there was like little leaves going through. I mean, just change this colors right here for summer, fall, and spring leading into winter. You know what I mean? So like fall over here would be kind of like a light bluish color, and then you have summer, which is kind of like a reddish color, and spring's like an orangish color. It doesn't affect anything. It just colors up the bar right there. And then during each of those seasons, like fall, you would have little red and orange leaves falling downwards every now and again across the play area. And then in the summertime, you would have people sneezing from hay fever. Spring too. All right, well, we will wait for this to come on in. And winter is here. That means we got to roll the winter die. We lucked out, and we got a 1. So there you go. You have one thing called the Vegvisir you can use. It's a magical stick, and it forces Winter's Toll to roll medium, and you can use it one time on any playthrough to save yourself. Save it as much as possible, because it will be relevant at... You'll know. It's one of those resources that, like, you'll know when you should use it. The peat bog was going to cost us 4 to build. All right. Well, we can't build that until we get over to here then, but the game's going to pick up much more quickly once we're generating a lot of resources. But as you can see, 4 to 6 is already going out on the next harvest, so we kind of need to get this thing going. There's our 4. Go ahead and put the peat farm in. It's going to take 2 of these little timeline segments to get it done. I love the fact that they segmented these little clocks to match up with the segments or the chunks of this up here, and now we're getting +4 per harvest. See what I mean? That's the good stuff right there. 4 to 6 keeps us nice and safe. I'm going to stockpile for winter before I do anything else. Next tiles we're going to scout are going to be these 3 over here to see if we can put a farm on top of that meadow. One by one, a fever has struck every member of the clan. Most are through the worst of it, but it'll be some time before everyone is able to resume their duties. I mean, it's only 3 time, and we're not planning on building anyways. We're just writing this out till the end of the year. So having people be in a delirium for 3 chunks is not really that big of a deal to me. But it's very, very easy in this game to visually identify how long things last for. When it says 3 time, it's 3 of these chunks. When you go to build something and the little progress ring around it is segmented in 2 parts, it means that it's 2 chunks. If it's segmented into 4 parts, it means 4 chunks. Like, everything is visually done. Like, the Gestalt UI of this game is actually quite well designed. Very, very easy to visually notice all these little features. Resolve, we got a 5. Okay, so we got the middle reward. I'm okay with that. Let's see if we can stack up some goodies here, though. I'm going to scout there, and I'm going to scout there. We've got 5 food in right now. Please be a meadow. It's a forest. Okay, what is that going to be right there? Let's find out. That's also a forest. That actually kind of tracks. If this is a forest right here, I have a plan. This needs to be a forest right here, though. It is a forest. All right, so we want a woodcutter. The woodcutter does the exact same thing that the peat bog does, except for it does it on a forest tile. So that's going to be our huckleberry right there. That should bump us up to a good solid 7, I think, per tick. So we should be in good shape to upgrade the city, but we've got another event. A windstorm blows several trees over near the homestead, but luckily they don't strike it directly and leaves no significant damage. I'll take the construction. I'm not planning on doing construction anyways for a little bit, so I'll leave the construction off. We don't want to waste hearts, but we do want to upgrade our town. And so we'll take our town up to level 2 because that will allow us to store 15 hearts instead of being able to store 10 hearts, which is way better. 15 is a bigger number than 12. I don't know if you know that or not. We can get a hunter over here for this highland, but I need to find out if there's another... I should have done 2 rounds of exploration right there before that went through. I feel dumb. I just wasted hearts. I was like a microsecond. I tried to click fast enough before it went off, but I forgot to hit the space bar with my thumb. Just fat finger problems. Roll a 6. Not bad, I'll take it. As long as we have some kind of surplus left over, I'm all right with it. You may notice that as we're getting further out, it takes longer to scout tiles. That is an intended mechanic. So the further out, I guess I could just put something right there. I mean, that gives us +1, so in a year it would pay for itself. The other option is we could put down a sacred Gothi, or we could put down a utility kiln, and that would nerf the Winter's Toll. Yeah, nerf Winter's Toll. Bring that down by 2 digits. That sounds good. So we've got a forest, we've got a highland right here, so we're going to want to get a hunter in right here so that we can get a +2. We will get a hunter. Now it's starting to pick up. You see what I mean? Now it's starting to get a little bit more rapid. Now we've only got 5 to 9 that we need to deal with. The sky is opened up and is releasing endless rain. Everything is soaked and the soil has been churned into thick mud. Rivers appear where none existed before. We cannot explore for 3 chunks, or we lose 5 hearts. I'm not losing the 5 hearts. Losing, like, you have a limited amount of hearts you can generate per run. So really, I try to be as tight-fisted as possible with my hearts as I can. This has caught us kind of out in the rain a little bit because I do need to explore, but we'll figure that out as we go. If I get that flag to fall off, there we go. Scout those 2. It's going to take 7 in order to get that done, but I need to figure out what the adjacencies are going to be with this forest right here so that I can figure out what the best tile to play is. What's it going to cost me to upgrade this? Do it, because we still have 11 after this harvest. Yep, so, like, we'll still be good for what the winter demands of us, but we'll be all right. And this is, like, the definition. This is what I like to see in indie games right here. I can't be clear enough about that. Like, this is simplicity distilled down to its most basic form while still remaining the ability to be compelling. This is very good. Like, this is the kind of thing when it comes to, like, simplistic or minimalist gameplay. I tend to not like minimalism. I tend to not like low poly, but that's because, like, most of the time it's done wrong. This game is simplicity and function and form done right. They've taken, like, easily this game could have, like, 5 different resources. Easily, this game could be demanding like 6 different resources of you every winter. But then it would be very similar to a game like Frostpunk. Instead, they focused on making this rapid fire. This is a game where you just kind of like intuitively scout things knowing that I need to look over there, but then I'm going to play this over there, and I'm going to play this over there. And I think that gives it sort of like a fanning the hammer type gameplay style of building and surviving the winter in rapid form and function that I think works. Rolled a 7 right there. I'll take it. It's the middle value. We got 9 coming through now every single harvest, so that's good. Unfortunately, there's not much more I can do here for right now until this scouting is done. Hopefully, I'll get some time to spend some hearts before we go into this next harvest, because I would really hate to waste this many hearts. Okay, so we've got... That's a glacier, so that's a different tile. All you can do with a glacier is make a utility cache. We've got another wetland right there. That's unfortunate, because that means I need to scout over here now just to figure out what I have to play with. My hope would be... You can only build one of these buildings, by the way. So you can only have 1 peat bog, and you can only have 1 hunter, and you can only have 1 wood chopper. In case that was not clear. I don't know that I ever mentioned that during the course of this playthrough. That's why it makes it so demanding that you place your stuff on the proper tile where you want it to go every single time, and why you scout and why you be careful is because you only get these buildings once. And so wasting them means that you've got to click on them now, and you've got to tear them down, and that takes time, so on and so forth. Can't do construction for 3 or lose 5. There's been rumblings of displeasure in the clan leadership for a little while, but only now has it come to a head. No decisions about the settlement can be made until this is resolved. We got to Blood Eagle somebody. There's a struggle right now. They got to go fight with shields and axes in the front yard, and whoever wins gets to Blood Eagle the other guy. I've seen this play out. I'll take the -5, actually, because in 2 turns, I'm going to need construction to go out. Normally, I would never take a heart loss, but this is an interesting situation where the timers are just right to where, that's a bummer. This is kind of the worst configuration you can get when it's kind of like a every other tile, because that means you don't get any of your bonuses. When things are lined up every other tile, it's just the worst, because it's just difficult to play. And this is all proceduralized, too, so you never quite know what you're going to get. You can get maps that are just utterly brutal, and like nobody's going to make it out the other side. We have an event over here. While out exploring, a pair of bold clan members enter a cave and find it to be filled with an eerily black glassy rock, giving some to allowing for the construction of much sharper tools. So there you go. We found an obsidian cache, so our construction costs have been reduced by 1. for the next X amount of time. How much is this going to cost me? It's 20, and we've got that coming in. We're going to have to pray for a low roll if we wanted that to work, so unfortunately it's not gonna. However, we could put a utility Scully right here, because that'll increase the production of this guy. And then hopefully there'll be a mountain right here, or something else that I can use around here. We've just got kind of weird tiles to play with right now. They're being wicked. Go ahead and scout some more locations too. If this is an ocean tile, we could get a fisherman in. Maybe that'll be an ocean tile up here then. But either way, we need these to be ocean tiles because then that'll even out. We can put this guy down, and then it provides a... Oh, never mind. It doesn't gain any bonus for adjacency. So what is this right here? A utility wharf. You have the unique opportunity to trade your surplus remaining at the end of the year. It is only buildable on the sea. Gain 1 to 5 hearts after winter's toll. Oh, 1 per 5 hearts. Kind of interesting. Could be playable. Not so sure. What does this say over here? The days stretch eventually long at the or especially long. The sun is dipping below the horizon. Or the sun is rarely dipping below the horizon. More hours of light means more hours to hunt and forage in the normally dark woods, making life a little bit easier. Oh, good. We got a +1 to our hunter's yield right there. I'll 100% take that. That's great. We also have an early negative event, though, which kind of sucks. Oh, nice. We rolled a minimum. That may actually save me because we're kind of starting to get to the point where costs are getting pretty high as far as the game is concerned. I believe what we need to do now is we need to scoot this guy over to here. So let's go ahead and do it. And we will rebuild him over here. We also need to get some scouting done. But since the fisherman doesn't get adjacency from anything, I'm not really too worried about it. So just keep exploring. Keep finding things. Over here, we'll put in the peat farm to maximize and give it a +3 instead of a +2. Hopefully there's a marsh right here as well so that it gets a +4. That way things get much more... Please get there before that hits. Let's see here. The wood set aside for construction wasn't stored properly and can't be used. As frustrating as it is, no new buildings can be started until it's been restocked. Okay. I wasn't planning on building anything anyways, so 3 chunks of non-builditude is not... Yeah, +13. That's what I'm talking about. So I've got... I needed 20 to upgrade this guy. Damn. We may have to Vegvisir this one, because I need to upgrade my central township to get my storage up, but I can't. So I can spend 20 to get +5 storage, and we've got 26 coming in. If I do this... Oh, but we'll still be maxed out, I think. I think we'll still be good, because that'll take us up to 30 that we can store. I need to put down some more of these little... I don't know if I can put down more of those little grassland kilns or whatever. Yeah, you only get the one of it, unfortunately, so we're going to have to figure something out here. Construction costs reduced by 2. A law speaker. Beneficial effects are increased by 70%. Encounters increased by 10. The utility healer lowers detrimental effects. Okay. We could put down a sacred Gothi somewhere. Oh, we've got +12. Apparently I'm bad at math. That's fine. I can be bad at math. Being bad at math only matters if you're building bridges, not making fart jokes on the internet. It's irrelevant. I don't build bridges or do anything useful for society. Oh, nice. It gave us 40 store. We got way more storage space out of that than I thought we were going to get. That leaves us with 2 points left, assuming we may get a bad roll to continue scouting, so we might as well start that now so the 2 chunks of time don't get wasted. But yeah, I like this. This is a very compelling idea, and it's very expandable too, because really all you need to do is open up like a geology book, and all you got to do is open up like a geology or a geography book and like find new land tiles like taigas and things like that, you know, highland plateaus, and start making hybrid tiles, and then from there coming up with hybrid building. This is one of those games that can be infinitely expanded. Like little $3 DLCs, you know what I mean? That add like 10 more land tiles and 10 more building types and like one more clan, you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of thing they always get me on with titles like this. 23. I think we Vegvisir this, because 23 is a pretty high roll. And so there's two reasons I use the Vegvisir. One of them is that I don't have the supply to pay, and it's just like I'm buying myself one more year of time. The other time I use Vegvisirs is if we're kind of like mid-game and we get like a max roll, and it's going to mess with my resource allocation for the remainder of the game trying to play catch-up. I don't like playing catch-up in games. I don't like that feeling of trying to, like, you know, catch up from behind. And so I try... Oh, we got another marsh! Right where we wanted the marsh to be, dude. All right. That's the good stuff. 21 to 35 is our next spread. Brutal, bro. We need to figure out, what can I do with these mountains up here? You can do a utility cache, but that only stores one more. Yeah, let's do that because it shows us where the win criteria is, so we'll put a seer up on that mountain right there. We'll lick some palms and see if this thing comes together. There's been murmurs of an undead being roaming through the nearby forest. Everyone is on edge, and most of the clan is staying close to the homestead for now. My wood chopper, it generates 3, I guess? And so we'll go down to plus 10 for the rest of the year. It's a rough one, but we're kind of just waiting for the seer to show us where the landmark is at so that we can conquer it at this point. I don't think we're too stressed out. With 48, 35 for the next upgrade. Wow. We're going to have to put some monies together. I also need to spend some money right now. A patch of wild thyme, meadowsweet, and angelica is found and harvested to treat the clan's ailments. Plus 2 heart capacity. Very nice. I love thyme. Thyme is one of my favorite cooking herbs. I cook chicken all the time, and thyme is a major component of the chicken that I cook. I put the chicken in the skillet with a whole bunch of butter, like probably like a half a centimeter of butter melted in there and sizzling already. You throw like 6 turkey breasts in there, or like legs or whatever you want to throw in there. Doesn't matter. I hit it with some salt. I hit it with some pepper. I hit it with some chunky garlic. And then I hit it with some thyme. And then I put the lid on as it sears on one side so that it collects all the juices and keeps it nice and like, you don't want too much of the juice to get out. And so for the first side, while that's like searing and sizzling and cooking, you leave the lid on it so that it kind of like it almost like boils and almost like steam cooks on the other side, and it keeps the moisture in so that it's nice and soft and chewy when it comes out. And then from there, when you flip it over to get the other side, you take the lid off, and then you let it vent a little bit so that it doesn't end up like too gooey and watery. But that's my chicken recipe right there. That I make that probably twice a week. Lots and lots of thyme in it. I like the way it tastes. Thyme is the good stuff. Hopefully we get like a really, really low roll here. No. We were kind of on the more punishing end of what we got attacked. One observation is that for a game that's supposed to be about thoughtful placement and strategy, this window might be a little bit large for RNG to affect a playthrough regardless of like the smart or stupid moves that the player makes. Like 22 to 37 is a pretty big gap, which means that RNG comes into play real hard here in a game that is otherwise all about being thoughtful and making smart decisions. And so that's one thing that I would maybe be a tiny bit apprehensive about. The hunters have been feeding scraps to a hungry Arctic fox, and they have seemed to earn its trust. It's tagged along on expeditions, nice, and surprisingly shows us safer paths through some of the challenging land. Sometimes giving leads to unexpected gifts. Nice. All right, so the seer told us that what we're looking for is over here. Let's get after it. We're going to need to survive at least into next year in order to conquer this thing and hopefully win the tile. So we've got plus 14 coming in on this side. Oh yeah, we have another scout too. I might as well scout everything. Unfortunately, this is going to take us the better part of years to scout and figure out what's over there, so that's a little bit worrisome. We have 28 coming back in with a plus 14 right there. Is there anything I can do with this tile? Oh, we do have a pasture, maybe. I mean, actually, the Explorer, that lowers our scouting time by half, which will help us, I think, get across the goal line next year, because this is going to take almost the entire year to scout. This will allow us to knock it out faster, which lowers the chance that we'll lose. We want to move our hunter. First harvest of the year yields nothing. Winter's toll increased by 1. Increase it by 1. I don't care. This guy over here, the Highland Hunter, needs to be salvaged because... Oh, never mind. I take it back. Can I cancel that? Cancel it. Good. We have the ability to cancel. I thought I saw 3 mountains right here in a row, but it was 2 mountains. Only 11 to scout that guy, so we may be good, hopefully. I feel as though we've got everything where I want it to be right now. All right, come on, low roll. Low roll, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I do think the RNG... So, like, I don't want you to think I think the RNG is a problem. I think the RNG might potentially be a problem for high-level play, basically. For high-level meta play. However, the counter... Oh, there is that right there. Okay, so we do want to tear this down. Go ahead and salvage it. Get the salvors going. That's the name for one that salvages. I didn't know that. A stretch of surprisingly stable earth is found that extends into the distance. Is this a natural phenomenon? Or caused by a great beast? Whatever the cause, it will help us travel. Good. So we need that to come down. We need to build another one over here for the additional +1. There it is. Put the hunter over here and build away. We've got lots and lots of hearts right now. Woodchopper's getting the +2. I lost my fox, so I can't explore anymore, unfortunately. I'm hoping this will come through soon. Yeah, give me the utility cache for more storage. I mean, I'm just trying to spend hearts at this point so that I don't waste hearts when they come in. But there's our hunter. We've got a +15. That's great, but we've almost outrun our capacity here with 35. Man, I don't know how we get the next... upgrade built unless we get really lucky with a low roll over here. I guess don't worry about it. Just go for the victory criteria. There it is. We found a landmark. Kirkjufell. Exploration time decreased by 25%. A mountainous spire of great beauty that points towards the gods and the aurora that dances overhead. Can I do anything with it? Oh, I thought I won once I found that. I thought the goal of the game was to find the thing. Your woodcutter does not generate anything, -5. I can take the -5 right now because we're going to be wasting most of our hearts anyways on this next harvest, so who cares? Throw those in there. Oh my god, it's only taking like 2 cycles to scout that far from our home. This is amazing! If this is a really bad roll, though, it's going to be game over for us. If it's a really good roll... Ooh, it was a bad roll. Okay, ouchie. Give me a little bit more scouting, please. If this is forest, we're going to move our woodcutter over to here. It is not a forest. That's still better, though, by +1. Salvage him. Although I suppose the smart plan would be to see if there's forest over here first. There is not forest over here. Is there forest right there? Please give me forest. There's a forest. So he's still got the +1. I was hoping we get another one on that side. Rip. Let's see here. Production buildings, your harvest decreased by 1. Construction and exploration can't be started. That's fine. Oh, it's 35, dude. It's so close. We may have to take a gamble on this one and see how it plays out because I need to expand what we can do. So with 35, that leaves us with 8 plus 16, 24. Nope. Even with the Vegvisier, we wouldn't make it. I don't know how you get this construction done. It gives you such a narrow margin for the upgrade. My only guess is that you've got to do it earlier in the game or have more throughput, I guess. More economic throughput, I guess, would be the other answer. But I don't think I have anything left. I mean, that increases our output. And then that makes our buildings cheaper. So I can do that. I can give it a go anyways. This might be it. This might be the end. It might be over. So there's ocean over there. I feel like we did a pretty good job on this run. A 40. Just barely snuck in underneath, man. Oh, it doesn't change the construction cost for the central building then. Bummer, dude. Yeah, I think I'm mostly out of production buildings here. I will build the utility wharf because why not? Like, at this point, I'm just spamming out buildings to maximize the amount of bonus I get to my roguelite progression at the end. And so, like, I'm just trying to build as many things that I know give me points as possible. We may get lucky with this one and survive it, but, like, I wouldn't hold your breath. Can I build as many of those utility caches as I want? Oh, I can. Okay, we'll stamp out utility caches then, every chance we get. I didn't realize that utility caches were repeatable, unlike every other building in the game, so that's good. 36 into a 43. Yeah, I can't do anything with these outermost tiles, so I'm just gonna keep caching, I guess. Not being able to put down a fisherman has actually kind of harmed us a little bit, I think. Like, we ended up with so much more ocean than expected. Your hunter does not harvest any hearts. Lose 5. For 9 turns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And my hunter's producing 4. So that's 3 harvests, 12. The 5 is less. We'll take the 5. Sometimes you gotta do some back-of-the-envelope Viking math. I think there's a solid chance we're toasty boyed right here. Oh, I should have done that. Yeah, cancel that. Give me my hearts back just in case. It might matter. Ah, it didn't matter. So our clan is dead after 132 TUs. And so having perished, we go onwards, and it doesn't matter, though, because we unlocked Kirkjufell, which means that for our next run, our exploration time will be permanently decreased by 25%. Love it. Absolutely love it. I have no complaints about this game except for the fact that there's a bug every single time. Let's see if it does it this time. I'll see if it does it. It did not do it. Okay, well, that's good then. I had a bug for a while where these outlines and the costs and the time and what resource you're using and these little dots right here would not show up, and I had to restart the game in order to get it to come back. You would mouse over things and nothing would happen, and so like you could still interact with things and build stuff, but the outlines and what it was costing you and what you were getting out and whatnot would not pop up with the little overlay or the little highlight. And so that's one bug that I ran into, but other than that, utterly fantastic game. Well done, developers. You've come up with something creative, rapid fire that is both big brain and casual simultaneously. I like it a lot. I'll see y'all later. My name is Splattercat. This is Landnama. Take care, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye, folks.